Good afternoon, students. This is Professor Manish, and we are into section 6 of selection of location. Here we are going to understand the different steps in selection location. As in the previous video which we have uploaded, we have understood that there are different factors that impact the selection of a site, and in that the most prominent is selection of sites based on soil size and topography, and disposal of waste. Disposal of waste is very important factor these days because we know that there are many environmental considerations which goes into giving licenses for the factories based on the type of the waste that is being generated by the industries. The location and site is being given by the government, and also we see that today lot of waste is being disposed, creating environmental pollution hazards for the people living in the surroundings. Thereby all the industries are located outside the location of the residential layouts. So the government is considering different industrial layouts wherein the industries are situated, and based on those the allotment happens, and there the people are given the industrial units for startup, and there is ready infrastructure based on which sheds are ready, and basic infrastructure is already given to the people to start up the units. Here we consider the different factors. We could see that location, we have A, B and C factors. In that land, building, improvement, equipment, etc. are being given considerations. So all of these are different factors which have an important criteria which is being considered, and based on which unit you are producing, the cost will vary, and based on that we can select different locations because cost will vary individually in different locations. So somewhere we can see that the electricity is coming at a cheaper cost. So if you are a power consuming units, so we could start a unit there where the cost of power is less. Somewhere we can see that transportation goes very high because of the petrol and diesel charges being varying every day in day out. So we should see that the location should be such that where the raw materials is readily available. Example is Bellary, which is a prominent area where iron ore is much abundantly available. So in those areas iron and steel units are started because the prime cost which is being incurred in the iron and steel industry is iron ore cost, and there iron ore is readily available in the nearby location of Bellary, and that is why most of the iron and steel units are located in the Bellary region. Now other expenses, like somewhere we could see that factory expenses are high. So because of, we could see that more of the people we are going to take up, and it is a labor intensive units. In such areas what we need to do is we need to select areas where the cost of labor is cheap. So similarly here, if you see the world map, we could see that China is being exploring this markets very well because the labor cost is very cheap in the Chinese markets, and that is why most of the production units are being started in China. And here that is an important consideration also. So for example, we could see labor intensive units such as the big industries like steel industries, iron and steel industries, sugar industries. All of these are capital intensive units, and that is why they require cheap labor for its manufacturing unit. Here we are going to study about the comparison between urban and rural areas in connection to the selection of the sites. Right? Most of the time what will happen is government will have different interventions being done in the case of policies amendments being done in order to facilitate rural population more than the urban population. Particularly in regions like or countries like India, we see that we are a rural population dominated country, and that is why we could see that the government is providing different policies for upliftment of rural areas. So here you could see availability of local market is there, very much there for the urban areas because of the high population there, because lot of migration is happening from the rural region to the urban location, and that is why we could see availability of local market being readily available. If you are starting a unit in urban markets, so you can sell your products readily there. So that's why people try to choose urban markets much. But we see that rural market, the cost is very high because we need to transport the products being produced in rural market to the urban areas, and that is why the market is not readily available, and that becomes a costly affair for transporting it to the consumer markets. Second is labor. Ample availability of diversified labor you can get it in the urban areas because lot of population migrates there, and different class, different sectors, and skilled and unskilled laborers are also readily available for you to start up your manufacturing unit. But in case of rural areas, we will not get skilled laborers, but precisely we will definitely get unskilled laborers in rural areas. So we should see which industry will be prevalently important for you to start in the rural areas. Transportation facilities. We see that the urban infrastructure is very good as compared to the rural infrastructure. wherein we can see that lot of industries are starting in the urban areas, and that is why infrastructure, road, power and other facilities are very much good and available in the urban areas. But in the rural areas, it is a very much problem, because we see that the urban areas is much developed than the rural areas, and rural roads are not much good, and that is why we could see that the transportation is not much good in the rural areas. Allied industries. So proximity to allied industries and service units, in the sense of whatever we manufacture, if they are intermediary products, if there are other industries in the nearby area which can consume it very faster. But if we do have an intermediate product industries in the rural areas, which is very much difficult, because we do not find the similar related industries in the rural areas, and that is why transportation becomes tougher, and also that not much industry will start up in those regions. So what we need to do is we need to plan an activity wherein we could see that we will also get related industries in the rural areas. Only then the things will become better. Okay. Next is availability of education facilities. Education facilities are much available in the urban areas rather than the rural areas, and therefore more of the skilled laborers, managers and other levels, management level people, we can get very easily in the urban areas rather than the rural areas. So here we could see there are very fewer education institutions being available, and typically higher education is never being there in the rural areas, and that is why people relocate from the rural area to the urban area for getting higher education. Cost of land. Cost of land is very high in urban area, and it becomes, as if it is a capital intensive unit, you need more land for your unit, then it becomes a costly affair to start your unit in the urban area. But when it comes to the rural areas, the sufficient land is available and at a very cheaper rates. So if you have an industry which is to be vast, and particularly like sugar industries or things like that, where it is a process oriented industry and you will require a lot of things to be managed there, you will require a sufficiently large unit, and that is why we could start that in the rural areas than the urban areas, because urban counterpart is very costly. Restrictions on the constructions. So in urban location, it is very a lot of restrictions are being given by the urban municipality or corporations on constructions of the factories, and locations are to be stipulated by the corporation, because they do not want the hazards to be transferred to the local citizens there. But when it comes to the rural areas, there are not much restrictions. You can do a construction very easily, and to get the permission also it is very easy when compared to the urban counterparts. So here we can see that the municipal and public utility service, certain specific municipal facilities and public utility facilities, water supply, drainage facilities are very much there in the urban areas, but in the rural areas it is lacking. When it comes to postal and communication service, so we can see a good possibility of postal and communication service being available in the urban areas, but in rural areas it is not much available, because rural areas are widespread and there is no much connectivity being available there. Rates of tax. So as we see the government policies now and then, the tax are being amended now and then, and that is why we could see in urban areas the taxes are high as compared to rural areas, and also we could see the subsidies are provided more in the rural areas than the urban areas, because we are an agrarian economy and our government always thinks that we should develop an entire village. If one industry starts in a village, the entire village will grow economically, and that is why they think that they should start more industries in rural areas, and that is why more subsidies are being provided in the rural areas. Okay, so cost of labor is already being discussed. We see that the cost of labor is very high in urban areas, and in rural areas it is very less. Availability of facilities, banking facilities, credit facilities and insurance facilities are readily available in the urban areas, which is not being there in the rural areas. And typically what will happen is, if it is a village area, we could see that we have to transmit the facilities from the urban areas nearby counterparts. So we will discuss the other part in the next session.